So today we are going to use the Sony 11mm f1.8 and compare against the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 lenses. The Sony linear autofocus system, which is super fast and precise. Well, for the Viltrox, it uses STM Sapper model. It is still fast and precise. Well, it is not completely silenced. There's still a little bit of noise that can be heard, but it is really not significant. The Viltrox is built with metal. You can see the lens body is super sturdy, and I have used this lens for quite a while now. This lens is not prone to scratches. For the Sony lenses, is built with plastic. Even though it is plastic, it still feels good on the hand. And also there's a big difference between the size and weight of these two lenses. The Viltrox is so big when attached with the lens hood, and it is around 420 grams, which just seems like a full frame lenses. And for the Sony lens, it's just so small and compact, and it weighs only 181 grams. Well, for the price, the Viltrox is right now much cheaper than the Sony, which is at $459. The Sony is $519 currently on Amazon. So both of these lenses is actually quite similar. Their use case is similar, because both are ultra-wide angles. This is the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 on the Sony ZV-E10. It is a little bit front heavy. You can feel the weight here when you're carrying like this. So most likely you're going to shoot like this. It has a D-Click aperture ring, f1.4. I use this very often, and once you get to 16, you can feel a little bit resistant to go on to the A, which is auto mode. So yes, when you get to here, it's a little bit difficult to turn to the 16. You need a bit of force. So there's a click here, and this is the C logo. I do not know what this means. Probably stands for crop. Yes, the quality is so good, man. Metal build. This is how it looks without the hood. I have attached a Marumi filter here. It's a UV filter to protect my glass from being hit by those stone or whatever. So this is how it looks. This is the ZV-E10 with the 11mm 1.8 lens. Okay, what's special about this lens is that you have an AF/MS switch. Turn to manual focus or turn it to automatic focus. So this is handy when you're shooting commercial because you want to focus on a single area or you just want automatic focus. And this is a focus hold button. Obviously, if I'm just going to use this lens to vlog around and travel, it is so convenient. So I am seriously thinking to sell my Viltrox and to get this lens. Even though I suspect this is a plastic, but it is much sturdy than expected. It is very sturdy. You see the glass, fast autofocus, low dispersion. So today we are mainly going to compare these two lenses on the Sony ZV-E10 and test out whether which one is more suitable on the Sony ZV-E10 and which one is better for vlogging, which one is much better for filmmaking, the 1.4 or the 1.8. So the first shot is going to be a wide angle shot. So as you can see, I'm trying to achieve a perfect balance between the sky and also the lake. So there's quite a bit of reflection here, and I'm using auto intelligent mode, so you guys can also achieve the same result. So I just took two photos and immediately I can see that it is significantly wider on the 11mm. So let's shoot raw here. Yes, achieve a perfect balance between the lake and the sky. It is focusing on the middle, auto intelligent mode. So this is a raw photo. When we are shooting on ultra wide, the quality from the LCD screen, I can see both is quite similar. So both of these photos is shot on a tripod. Right now I'm zooming all the way into the subject that I'm focusing on, which is the building here. So as you can see here, even the leaf, yeah, the detail is there. As you can see in the corner here, the Sony seems much more clearer. Viltrox started to seem a little bit mushy here. And moving on down here, yeah. So to be honest, both of these lenses is very similar in terms of image quality. Both of these lenses is known to be sharp and have a good image quality. Okay, so for the 11mm, because there's too much distortion, actually I have already corrected this distortion. You can see the construction here still seems a little bit distorted. Well, on the Viltrox, it is perfectly still. Let's zoom all the way out. Yes guys, this is zooming all the way out. Just now, the details are all very well maintained. Both of these lenses really excels in terms of image quality. And then from here, both of these photos, I'm trying to achieve the minimum focusing distance. You can see the 11mm is just much more closer, while the 30mm Viltrox has a much higher minimum focusing distance. So I think I'm focusing on here. Guys, so right now I'm shooting at 4K 25 frames per second. So let's test out a simple pan in this environment. Yes, we can see Mr. V is tweaking his gimbal. It is an A6700 on the Hohem gimbal. So right now I'm on the 11mm. I can notice that it is so wide because it's 16mm. Perform a whip pan transition. Yeah, it's just a slow pan. And I have to point out that there is no stabilization between both of these lenses. So what's convenient for ultra wide angle with the Sony ZV-10 is that we can use the active stabilization to crop in and zoom in while also maintaining our autofocus capabilities. So this is active stabilization mode. So right now it's active stabilization on the Viltrox 30mm f1.4 lens. Again, it seems okay. As you can see, whip pan transition, there is not much, you know what I mean? The rolling shutter. The active stabilization and the ultra wide angle just pairs so well on the Sony ZV-10. So I love to use the active stabilizations. I own this Viltrox lens for quite a while now. I really love to use the active stabilization to crop in and focus on a product shot, especially when we are shooting B-roll and also filmmaking when I have to zoom in. Well, I still want to maintain the autofocus capabilities. Okay guys, so right now let's move on and do a vlogging test. Alright, right now I'm on a Viltrox 30mm f1.4, so my arm is fully extended. This is the kind of field of view of 30mm, which is equivalent to 19.5, which is 20mm on full frame equivalent. So right now I'm vlogging in a straight line. Yeah, just casual pace. You can see how shaky the footage is. And you can see I crank up the shutter because I want to maintain the f1.4, so my background is blurry. Yeah, so you can see this environment here. And then right now I'm going to turn back and try to use the active stabilization. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Alright guys, so right now it is on active stabilization Viltrox 30mm f1.4. So this is me walking on a straight line. It is a bit tight because if you use 20mm times 1.4, it is around 28mm. So you are vlogging on a 28mm lens in full frame equivalent. My arm is fully extended right now. And also I'm holding on the lens instead of using a tripod. I'm just holding it like this. So that's the benefit of the Viltrox lens because you can hold it really well because it's big. And yeah, f1.4, you can see the blurry background. This is a vlogging test. Alright guys, so right now I'm vlogging on the Sony 11mm f1.8 lens. So this is equivalent to 16.5. So right now my arm is fully extended and I'm holding the lens like this. You know, holding a hand like this instead of using a tripod can sometimes be much more comfortable because, you know, you just have much more control on the movement. Yeah, this is so wide and you can see the f1.8. Do you guys like the depth of field of 1.8 or 1.4? So technically, it's not much of a difference, but because this is just ultra wide angle lens,
there's not much difference. Yeah, on a ZV-E10 vlogging like this. So do you guys think this is a good, stabilization? So we have turned on the active stabilization on the Sony lens. It is still comfortable to vlog because I'm around 23mm equivalent. So how do you guys think about this focal length? It is still vloggable because usually I use the Sony ZV-1, which is around 24mm also. And yeah, this is quite a natural focal length. Just try not to be too close to your face because there's a huge distortion to your face because this is just an ultra wide angle lens. Just try not to put too close. Yeah, if I'm just vlogging, I think this lens is definitely very good. Right now, let's test out the minimum focusing distance. I'm going to shoot a video of the flower around here. So this is the minimum focusing distance here. You can see it is not that close. There's still I forgot about the exact figure, but I will let you guys know in the screen. Yeah, the focusing is actually not bad. I'm going to tell the focusing is good. Switch to the 11mm lens and I can focus really close. It's about here. As compared to the Viltrox, this is much more closer. See this one? Yeah, you see, I can even focus on this close.
In order to decide which one to buy, it can be really tricky. Well, I look at it this way. If you're using a Sony ZV-10 purely for vlogging, I recommend you to choose the Sony 11mm f1.8 because it is just so small and handy. You can go anywhere and shoot without any problem because it is not so big. It doesn't seem professional to the eye of the public, so you will not be stopped by the securities and all those authorities to stop you from filming and asking you for money to film at that places. Well, for filmmaking work, just go for the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 because this lens is heavy and it is well built, and from the public point of view, this lens just seems like a professional lens. It is not too wide, so there is not much distortion on the face as compared to 11mm. And also we can use the active stabilization to crop in to maintain a good field of view, to focus on the face of the people, and also to focus on the subject and shoot a proper B-roll. And this 13mm just achieve a good middle ground. You can still vlog with this lens even though it is a bit heavy. And what's more to say, both of these lenses is good for low light f1.4 and f1.8. So there's not much difference between the low light performance of f1.4 and f1.8. If you ask me which lens do I choose, well, because I'm not a rich person, I'm limited by budget. Obviously, I'm going to choose a lens that can do it all, which is the Viltrox lens. And it is the lens that I'm shooting right now. Sony lens just seems to be too wide, even though it is really good for vlogging, really good for real estate. I just couldn't use it to shoot, for filmmaking because the face distortion is too heavy on the lens. Alright guys, that's all I have to say for these two lenses. This is just a brief comparison between these two lenses and also its use case and scenario for you guys to see which lens should you choose for the Sony ZV-10. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.